In this video, we're going to be making this little pig design. And this is really a introductory video in that you don't need any CorelDRAW skills, don't really need any in-depth knowledge into Easy Stone, just a couple of real basic techniques. You can create a great little design like this very easily. So let's go ahead and delete our pig, and we're going to start from scratch. So what we're going to do here is go over to Google and type in pig clip art and go ahead and choose images here, and this is the image that we used. So when you click on that image, it gives us a nice preview of it. I'm going to right click and choose the copy image option and go back into CorelDRAW, and we're going to right click and choose paste. So there is our little pig clip art. Now we're going to select this bitmap, come up to trace bitmap, choose that centerline trace option, line drawing. And that brings up this big scary dialog box. We're just going to go ahead and leave all the defaults, whatever they are, they are. Go ahead and click OK. And what that does is create a series of vector lines right on top of our bitmap, which we can now delete. So there is our little pig. Now, the first thing we want to do here is go ahead and resize the pig to however big we want it to be in the end. So in the end, I want a 6-inch pig. So we'll change it to 6 inches, and now I can go ahead and apply stones to it. Now if you look over here, you see we have a group of 4 objects. So we're going to right click on that and choose Ungroup in the Object Manager. Now if your Object Manager is not visible, all you need to go into the Window menu, choose Dockers, and then you will see here in all the list the Object Manager Docker right here at the top. Okay? So now we have these 4 objects selected. We'll go to the Stone tab here in Easy Stone. Now for the stone color, I'm going to make my pig fuchsia. The size of stone is 3.4, and that is for SS10 stones. That's the size we use for making templates. And then the spacing is 0.5 of millimeter. So we'll click Add Stones, and that will add stones to all those individual lines. Now if we look, you'll see that line there, all these individual lines. We don't actually need those. That was just to define where the stone should be placed on them. So we're going to go ahead and select all of those and then hit the delete stone paths. And now every single stone is its own separate object. Now you can see just by looking in here, especially in the tail area, there's lots of overlapping stones. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a search for all those overlapping stones. So we're going to select the entire pig design, go to our editing tab and click on check spacing. Now what that really is doing is checking for any stone that's sitting directly on top of one another, and there's 9 of them. So we're going to go ahead and delete those. Now we still have overlapping stones because we may want to use some of those. So we leave those in place for now. So let's begin this project of refining the design. So right here we have this interesting area where the leg is coming into the pig body. Doesn't look real elegant there. So what we'll do is we'll make some small changes here to make it look a little bit better. So these stones are touching, so we're gonna just make some small edits so they don't touch, which we did. But where the leg comes into the pig, it's still not coming in there very good. It appears to be there's a gap there. So let's go ahead and make the change so that doesn't look like that. And then we can modify the rest of the leg here so that it will fit. Now sometimes we have to make dramatic changes, but this one I think we'll probably get by without deleting any stones. We just kind of have to readjust these a little bit, and this is very much, up to the designer how much they want to fiddle with the design. Do they like it, do they not like it? So it's just really a matter of what you want to do personally. And then you just kind of step back and look and see, do I like the way that looks? And I think I do, so we're just going to leave that alone. Now here, obviously we have some overlapping stones, so we need to make a small change, and all we're going to do is just nudge these stones up just a little bit there. And now we don't have any overlapping stones there. And then here we have stones that are touching, and I'm actually going to add a couple. So I just left click and drag and then right click to make a duplicate. I could hit my space bar if I wanted to. That will also allow me to make a duplicate. So, a couple little CorelDRAW things there. So that looks pretty good. Pretty happy with that. We do have a stone touching there. We'll go ahead and add another duplicate stone there. Real simple little edits as we go around the design here. We have a bit of an issue here, so we'll delete that. And here's a little fun thing we can do. Go ahead and select a stone, hold your shift key, click on several other stones, and then we missed one here, and hit shift P. See how it spaced those stones horizontally? That looks a little bit better. And then what we can do is we can go ahead and grab this group just like so and move those right into place like that. So that looks a little bit better. Nice continuous flow there. So little changes that we can make to the design. And go ahead and select this line. It's easier to go ahead and make these little changes to our artwork than fiddle with the vector lines. And we could have gone in and really made our vector lines perfect and added our stones after the vector lines were perfect. But it's just as easy to just slap some stones on and make these little changes, because you only have to create the design once, and then once it's created you'll have it forever. So it's easier just to do it this way. Make a small change there, bring that stone around, and then we'll just have to kind of fiddle with these stones to get the look that we're looking to get. And again, we have some overlapping stones down here. So we'll go ahead and maneuver those so they're not overlapping. There, that looks good for that hoof. And same thing here. We're going to move this stone, and we're going to move this one. Add another one here. And that takes care of that little foot there as well. Alright. So now that pretty well takes care of the bottom part of this design. Now we're going to move up here where we have our tail. And we have lots of stones sitting all over here. So we're just going to come in here and select a few and delete them, so we have something a little bit easier to work with. Okay, and we can always add back in a stone or two if we need to. So we'll move that into position. So there, fill that little gap there, and then we'll reposition this stone. Then we just have to decide what kind of tail we want to make here. So I'm going to select a few of these, move them around. We'll add an extra stone there. Reposition there. And I don't know, maybe we'll add a little curl back, something like that. And then maybe we'll add one down here. Whatever we want to do, whatever kind of pigtail we want to make, you can adjust that however you see fit there. And then right here, you can see we need to move those around a little bit, just adjusting these little gaps that are created. Tiny little changes will make a big difference to the overall design. You'll see that the more designs you do. So we'll go ahead and bump this design, that stone up a little bit. And this is a little close, so we'll give that a little distance. Give that a little distance. That looks good. Our pig eye looks good. And we've got a little bit of an issue here, right where our snout is. Make a little change there. Let's see here. We'll go ahead and move that stone. Well, sometimes we have to make dramatic changes because there isn't room. So we're going to make a dramatic change here. Somewhat dramatic. In that we're going to just push this stone here get that spacing that we want, and then we'll force these stones out of the way and fix whatever we got to fix. So we'll push this one up, push that one up. And, you know, it's a pretty minor little change there. And then we'll go ahead and add a couple of stones for our snout. There we go. So we take a step back and look, and there you go. So that is our finished design. Then I'll select the whole design, and I'll come in here to our miscellaneous tab, and we'll add a quick weed box around it. And that is the finished product. So I think it looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead and select our entire design, and we'll come over here to our miscellaneous tab, and here's our stone use report. Take a look at the number of stones we used, and you can see the overall design size. And we'll go ahead and choose add dimensions. I always do that. Now I'll add the dimensions of our design below the design, and there we go. So you can see, didn't really take very long at all to make this nice little pig design, and really didn't take a lot of CorelDRAW skills. And that's really, when you're first starting out with rhinestone design, you want to pick some really easy little projects like this. Once you see a little success with these easier projects, the more complicated designs will be a lot easier to tackle. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and thanks for watching.